Hello everyone and welcome to Past-Cast number 125. After we've had some older games recently, I guess this time we're going to take a look at one that is somewhat more modern, at least in terms of playstyle. The game has been played in August of 2010. It is an undead versus human matchup, with the undead being the Chinese player TeD, spawning here on the left hand side in yellow, and his opponent from South Korea going for a fast alter here, making his Past-Cast debut. A little bit surprisingly, actually, that this is the first game I'm casting of him. It's ReprisaL, I guess a strong contestant for the title of the best Korean human player ever. And actually, in preparation for this cast, I found a replay of him from all the way back in 2006, but for a long time he wasn't really too well known. He got his first bit of spotlight, by the way, Mountain King first year for him, his first bit of spotlight playing for Wicked in early 2008, and then moved on to play for several more teams during his career, such as IES, All for One, PM, Webmax, and Apex, and of course the clan Go. And he won 7 SUTEC Cups in 2011 and 2012, but his biggest accomplishment was definitely the second place in the WEC 2014, where he was only defeated by Infi. And he hasn't been playing, as far as I know, since he didn't manage to qualify for the WCA 2016 in the Korean, or officially the APEC qualifier, in April of 2016. So I guess perhaps when the time comes for WCA 2017, we'll find out if he's done with Warcraft 3 for good. So we do see that he's going for a fast creep here with only Militia and his Mountain King. First Footman is out already as well. In the meantime, TeD with his fast DK late Fiend build, which by many people is also called the TeD build for the very reason that he was the player who really got it, modernized and basically made it the standard meta game that it still is till today. The human player hasn't lost the Militia here thus far, as I can see, and the Mountain King has reached level 2 here. Boots of Speed, very good item for him. Second Footman is out already, and the Death Knight is just coming in now from the left hand side, as his creep camp is already done, and there shouldn't be all too much that he is going to be able to do here anymore. Looks like he's using the rod here for the first time, immediately coiling the Forest Troll Shadow Priest, trying to get the kill on that one. One of the skeletons gets dispelled though, and 100 HP exactly for this Forest Troll Shadow Priest, so he has to quickly deal one hit and then coil it, but he's not able to do so just yet. And now as the Shadow Priest has healed up, it looks like TeD isn't even gonna get the kill on this one. Excuse me, just taking a quick sip here. Got a bit of a sore throat, so I guess you're gonna have to live with me taking a sip of, this honey drink that is good for the throat, apparently, every once in a while. So yeah, this creep camp has gone very well for ReprisaL thus far. TeD hasn't been able to do anything. As you can see here, ReprisaL is only at 150 lumber right now, upgrading his Arcane Tower, so he cannot quite go for his expansion as quickly as he may want to. Has to wait for his peasants to harvest a little bit more lumber. TeD, in the meantime, with 5 ghouls out though, decides to go for this creep camp here, and I think, pretty unconventional choice by him going for the first Fiend just now. If he only, lost the creep here to, lost the ghoul here to creeps after it got bashed by this tunneler. Bit unfortunate for him. Level 2 for this Death Knight, Ring of Regeneration. And yeah, if he started Fiend production after only 3 ghouls, he may have had 2 Fiends out by then, but I guess creeping this one would have been a little bit more difficult, because the majority of these creeps does have medium armor. So a nice touch there by TeD, adapting his unit composition according to his creep route. Mountain King is almost level 3. The creep camp has been finished here. First tower is being built immediately. ReprisaL hasn't seen anything of TeD's base in well, the entire game thus far. As you can see, he hasn't scouted just yet, so he doesn't really know if gargoyles are coming, and therefore he's building his second tower already before even starting the Great Hall, and also waiting here with the 2 mercenaries. So he really seems to be a little bit afraid of some potential gargoyle play, but that's not gonna happen here out of TeD, as we see the second fiend is on the field already, and the third one is about to spawn as well. So TeD very, very quickly has crept up to level 3 here. Usually wouldn't be the case, but at the same time, with this delayed fiend production, with which he's only got 3 fiends out by now, he shouldn't really be able to apply all too much pressure here. 5 footmen already out on the side of ReprisaL, who hasn't started attacking yet. You know, who's just scouting with his Mountain King, sees that this is gone. He has seen that the natural expansion is gone, and now sees that there is the level 3 DK here. Just clicked him, sees the Ring of Regeneration in his inventory. Well, I guess he's going to be able to live with that. And yeah, this MK looks like he's going to go for some Ecolite hunting here. And look at TeD already realizing what's about to come. Is already building another Ecolite, because he can not do anything about this Mountain King one-shooting at least one of them. The Mountain King, by the way, does have the Staff of Teleportation. There goes one Ecolite, and the Mountain King staffs out. Yeah, back to his expansion, which is just now finishing because of the 2 towers that ReprisaL did build previously. But yeah, 3 fiends are out. Lich is about to spawn. Still tier 2 on the side of TeD, who's building another fiend here. 4 ghouls are harvesting lumber. He's building the slaughterhouse before going to tier 3. But yeah, with the 4 ghouls, he should be able to get there yeah, pretty soon. And yeah, I'm really curious to see what the approach right now is going to be for TeD. He's got this strong Death Knight, very quick level 3. Mountain King is going to continue creeping a bit for the moment. Getting defend right now, still no tech for ReprisaL, still doesn't have a single guard tower in his main base as well. But you know, with a Mountain King, with this number of footmen, against only 4 fiends, or the 4th one we've just seen building, okay, there it is already. I'm quite confident that this expansion is not going to get overrun. He's adding more towers down here right now. He's heading down here with the rest of his army as well. The Mountain King does have plenty of mana. And the first masonry upgrade has finished as well. The Lich gets some mana burnt here. He's deciding to go for Frost Armor first. There is no mana for Dispel on this Forest Row Shadow Priest currently, so with the Footman, he's gonna have a pretty tough time finishing anything off here. But he just needs to win some time here for the towers to come up. This one, I guess, isn't going to be able to get up here. ReprisaL, yeah, cancelling that one. TeD is pulling back though, and ReprisaL has to fall back as well. He cannot really afford chasing here, because TeD should be able to kite against these footmen very, very easily. The first statue should be on the field soon as well, which is, you know, the reason why he built the slaughterhouse so early. In the meantime, we've seen him go for tier 3 as well. No counter expansion whatsoever coming by TeD. Of course, we're going to have to keep an eye on the left-hand side of this of the map, as well, as TeD has grabbed his natural expansion quite early on. In the meantime, tier 2 has started here. No further tower at the main of ReprisaL, who has completely realized that TeD is only focusing on his expansion, but I don't really see him doing all too much. And this tower is going to finish here before TeD is going to arrive, which, yeah, isn't going to make things any easier for the undead player. So yeah, what's the plan here for TeD? To see a minimap signal here, and yeah, ReprisaL also aware of the possibility of a counter expansion here, and he's put a footman right there to scout. Of course, keep in mind the Mountain King still has the Staff of Teleportation, so he can always get over there and just quickly take down an, you know, Ecolite with a bolt and take down an upcoming expansion. He's also added this Ogre Mauler in the meantime, so some more survivability within his army to just deal with these fiends. So the second statue is about to join, and he's still trying to keep the pressure up, but I think until he reaches tier 3, gets an orb, gets Destroyer upgrade, there shouldn't really be all too much that TeD should be able to do here. So this is quite questionable. Wow, what a close call here, the call arriving just before the bolt. And Mud Golem board as well, so a full set of mercenaries here on the side of ReprisaL, who's just trying to win time here. He's reached tier 2 right now. What's the plan? towers, and straight tier 3. One Arcane Sanctum for the moment. He doesn't have lumber to build another one. Doesn't also have the lumber to upgrade these towers. He's getting the first lumber harvesting upgrade right now. And is going to look to upgrade all of those towers eventually. He knows that by the time destroyers come, he's gonna have to be prepared. And actually TeD is going for the counter expansion here. The Lich doesn't have Nova here, so this Footman might even, you know, force another coil here out of this Death Knight. He actually lets it survive. Okay, Mountain King keeps on creeping here, realizing where TeD's army is and realizing that TeD cannot really leave this position here without taking the risk of getting his expansion cancelled. So ReprisaL very aware and immediately jumping at the opportunity to take one of these middle camps. And okay, the Mud Golem attacking one of his own units to make sure not to die here to the creeps, and he's really eager about continuing to attack that one. MK with an invisibility potion continues marching forward here, scouting some, but yeah, as I said, TeD is staying close here. Or is he just leaving now? But I'm not really sure if the damage output of this Mountain King would even be enough. And no, TeD is staying close. TeD is not risking anything happening here. A skeleton just, went past the shop. Perhaps he just clicked the shop and realized that the invisibility potion is gone already. I'm not quite sure. Still only one Arcane Sanctum. He's even getting the Magic Sentry upgrade, I guess, just to scout against shades of TeD. But is there? No, that's not even a Sacrificial Pit. Meantime, tier 3 finished. The Slaughterhouse has just stopped spinning, so I imagine it must be the Destroyer upgrade that just has finished. And yeah, Mountain King just killing another unit here. These guys continue creeping, therefore he's level 4. No XP tome dropping here, only a Tome of Strength +2. Still no second hero, by the way. Double Workshop. So against an undead expansion, of course, tank play is a pretty likely possibility. It could also just be for a lot of gyrocopters though. Lich is doing some solo creeping. Death Knight didn't really get a lot of XP these past few minutes, and the Mountain King just keeps abusing the instant kill on the Acolytes with his level 2 bolt. Lich is level 2 in the meantime. He has picked up the orb. Another Acolyte has been taken down and staff out by the Mountain King, using the Scroll of Regeneration. And well, tier 3 has finished in the meantime. Mountain King still the only hero. He's getting a ton of bonus experience here currently, picking up the Tome of Strength +2 right now. And a third workshop, so okay, this is going to be tanks. No question about that. There is no point. Yeah, the first 2 tanks immediately being put into production, and yeah, there's no need at all for a third workshop if it were only for a lot of flying machines. Second attack upgrade already being researched for the tanks as well. So ReprisaL really at work here, breaking into low upkeep quite quickly as well. It's not saving up anymore, but the fact that he's already got saved up almost 2,000 gold pretty much justifies that. 2 towers are coming here for TeD, who has to town portal back right now as the entire army of the human is coming in here. First Acolyte is falling, the second one should be falling in just a second as well to a bolt. But yeah, there it is. 3 Acolytes falling. Forester Shadow Priest is falling as well. And there's nothing more to gain here for the human player. So I guess there should be a town portal out here soon. The first breaker is getting picked off immediately. Defend upgrade, used by the Footman. He actually decides to run here, losing another Footman. Second Footman. And he's gonna lose the Ogre Mauler as well. So is that worth it? He decides to go straight for the mine, trying to win some more time. The first 2 tanks are out right now. Not shown to TeD yet. By the way, has added a Sacrificial Pit in the meantime. It's saturating his expansion right now. And yeah, the Mountain King is actually moving forward. The Footmen are moving into the back here, but given that there is no more mana on this Mountain King, I'm not really sure if there's all too much that ReprisaL is going to be able to achieve here. He's definitely going to have to use his town portal. Yeah, he's doing just that. Didn't get a single kill in the space. Well, wasted a bit more of TeD's time. But yeah, I guess town portaling here would have been smarter because he would have saved a couple more units. So yeah, 2 0 upgrades on those tanks. 2 are out. And 3 more are about to spawn. Finally, the Paladin second is being added as well as another breaker. And the problem is with tanks, generally speaking, on Aquas, that while pushing with tanks and applying pressure and forcing the undead to defend and perhaps, you know, attack simultaneously elsewhere with the Mountain King. Usually the human would love to set up towers at a second expansion, but there is no opportunity for that here. So the human has to make it happen on 2 base, basically. Of course, tanks are still strong, but there's an expiration date, basically. The Mountain King is getting Coil Nova here. Holy Light is going on to him, and is he going to be forced to Town Portal? He uses the Invo Potion bolt on that side, and he surrounds the Mountain King here, who is invulnerable for the time being, and he's gonna have to... Now he's staffing to the Paladin, actually, just to win a bit more time. Coil Nova hitting the Mountain King, but only the Nova hitting the Coil is being dodged here by the Staff of Teleportation. And he's winning some more time as the first 5 tanks are rolling into the expansion of TeD right now. And TeD cannot really afford chasing after the human army here. Yeah, he has to Town Portal back. The Nerubian Tower has already fallen. The Spirit Tower has fallen already as well. And yeah, TeD is in some trouble here at his expansion, using the Scroll of the Beast here even to get rid of those tanks a little bit more quickly. The Slaughterhouse is definitely gonna fall. The Sacrificial Pit has already fallen as well. And yeah, what's gonna be next here? Splitting the focus fire strangely of the tanks now, going for the Haunted Goldmine with all of them, and with 3 tanks with 2-0 attack upgrades still alive. I don't really see this expansion surviving. A Dreadlord 3rd added here on the side of TeD. Yeah, the expansion has fallen here. TeD, nice touch here with the Acolyte, blocking in the Siege Engine, stopping it from doing more damage to the Nerubian Tower here, so this one is going to survive. The next tank is going to fall. 5 tanks, quite expensive here, of course, for ReprisaL as well, but I think well worth it, taking down the majority of this expansion. Also, killing the Slaughterhouse there while a Meat Wagon was in production, so only Meat Wagon production from 1 Slaughterhouse currently. The first one is out, the second one will spawn eventually, and more tanks are coming in here. The shop has been taken down, so no more statues for the time being, but I don't think that TeD really wants to invest too heavily into those at the moment as well. Shade Squad leaving here, now they have to part ways. And yeah, with the first wagon on the field, these... tanks should be gotten rid of quite quickly. He needs more repair on this Ziggurat though, and I think this one is even gonna fall here. 3-0 attack upgrades finished in the meantime on those tanks for ReprisaL. Paladin soon to be level 2. Looks like he crept here in the meantime. No, looks like he crept here quite a while ago already, actually. This one is still standing on the side of TeD. This one is still standing as well. Those are the only 2 big creep camps that are left. And, well, TeD has taken some damage here. 2 wagons out in the meantime. But, yeah, ReprisaL has to break him eventually. He's adding a Griffin Aviary right now. 3,000 gold left in the mains. A little bit more in TeD's main. But the big difference is, of course, here 6,400 against over 10,000, almost 11,000 still in TeD's Haunted Goldmine here at the expansion. So, that's the issue for ReprisaL. He at some point has to break this, because as previously stated, he cannot get a 3rd base. But for now he's just falling back and creeping some more. But yeah, that's gonna be the last creep camp he can take. Mountain King almost 5, Paladin almost level 2. Both of those very important level ups in the meantime. TeD continues creeping as well, finding a preempt of Vitality. And giving it to the Lich immediately against the nuke. The Lich, of course, is the most prominent target usually. By the way, no 3rd hero added, at least just yet, for ReprisaL, who's adding more tanks here. No defense upgrades for these tanks, surprisingly, but the 3rd attack upgrade for the Breakers as well, so he's going full attack upgrades here. And what did he find? Ring of Regeneration on the MK. Let's see if he keeps it. Late game, usually not as useful as it tends to be in the early game. And TeD, yeah, just sitting here for the time being. Reveal used from the Arcane Tower here. As he researched the Magic Sentry previously, he is able, of course, to use a reveal every once in a while here. And the Flying Machine actually secures kills on 2 shades here for ReprisaL, who has to fall back for the moment right now though. Scary Army by the Undead player. More tanks rolling in here. Still 2 meat wagons on the field. Abomination number 2, I think. Yeah, number 2 is being built, and the tanks are about to roll in here.
Our forces are under attack.
By the way, double staff already for ReprisaL. This is 1.24, so he can no longer pass the staff in between the heroes and use one staff on multiple of them. That was already changed by the time. So 2 griffins inside the army as well, but those should be sniped out first here. Sleep quite quickly on the paladin here just to prevent the holy light. The death knight is being focused here. Bolt goes on him, another sleep on the mountain king, but that was too late, and the surround fits, and therefore the death knight is gonna have to town portal, and he's town portaling to the expansion here, as we can see by the death knight turning towards the bottom left, and he's actually trapped in the middle of his army right now. And is there a bolt? Yes. Is there a holy light as well? Yeah, and the death knight is actually falling. Now the breaker is falling as well, but that was a big kill by ReprisaL. Without that one, I don't think he would have nearly had the means to break into this expansion, but is it enough right now without the DK? That's the question, and I think the answer is probably still no, as there are 3 towers supporting this expansion here of TeD. ReprisaL is trying, nevertheless, staffing another 2 units here. The tanks rolling in, attacking the first spirit tower here, and the paladin reaches level 3 as well. So ReprisaL is still trying to keep the pressure up. Another Nerubian tower, another spirit tower, excuse me, has fallen. But the first tank has fallen already as well. Another fiend gets picked off, which is pretty easy for the human currently, as long as the death knight is gone and as soon as one of these fiends moves out of the expansion. But it looks like the pressure is going to ease off nevertheless, and another tank has fallen here. So at the end of the day, well, the death knight has fallen, of course. I think 2 fiends on top of things have fallen. But as far as I can tell, I think this is a new griffin. I think both the griffins of ReprisaL have fallen, and a couple of breakers as well, and both the tanks. So I don't really think this was such a good trade for ReprisaL at the end of the day, because this death knight will come back eventually, quite far along already. And ReprisaL really has to make things happen here. Mountain King level 5.5 though. Another griffin added. This is what I don't really agree with here within ReprisaL's unit mix, because against a large fiend army, there's basically only 2 ways to do it with griffins. Either entirely skip them, or get a number that is critical enough for, you know, it to be impossible to just quickly web them with fiends and snipe them out, because they are basically the most vulnerable units against fiends. So having only 2 of them, quite quickly the death knight is being cut off here, but the surround is not sticking here. The dreadlord is coming in for a sleep on the mountain king from the bottom, saving his first hero. That still is just sitting here. He knows that this is the gold mine that is gonna run for the longest here, and therefore he's just trying to defend it. But the human is going for the main base. TeD is town porting in, I imagine, here somewhere, probably. Yeah, exactly there, and going straight for it. But a lot of tanks here, and both the meat wagons have already fallen against the focus fire of these griffins. Of course, for that, they are pretty great, but as you can see, the first griffin gets sniped out immediately. Large damage output in the meantime against the Black Citadel, and TeD is trying to repair with everything, but I think the last Acolyte is about to fall right now, and then there's not going to be any more repair. Bolt kills it, 1 tank gets taken out as well. The 1 griffin has even survived here. And yeah, not too much has fallen on the side of ReprisaL here. I mean, he's not going to be able to take this fight here entirely. He does have a TP, I imagine. Yeah, he does have, so he's gonna have to town portal out here eventually. 2 tanks have fallen. Mountain King gets sleeped here. Another Ziggurat is going to be taken down, but it is time for ReprisaL to leave this fight. He's doing just that, even saving the breaker there. In the end, this time a very favorable trade. The players trading town portals, but, you know, killing 6 Acolytes here, even if I count correctly, plus 2 Ziggurats, I believe, plus the main, plus the gold mine. Well worth it for our human player here. But the clock is ticking. His main mine is gone, and he's got 2,500 gold in here. So while this was a success, this base is what it's gonna boil down to. The Ziggurat has been replaced here by TeD, upgrading to a spirit tower again. Dreadlord soon to be level 3. He'd really love to be level 3, I guess, for both for the level 2 sleep and for the additional survivability. Blood Mage 3rd added in the meantime for ReprisaL, so additional nuke. And this is where things get really dicey for the undead heroes. 78 supply for ReprisaL, who's got 3 attack upgrades on all of his units. And this is the time where TeD, of course, would love to go into like something like Banshees against a level 3 boat, level 2 Holy Light, nice surround there, and level 1, well, I'm not sure if he's got Banish already or Siphon Mana here first. But keep in mind that he's still, wow, very nice, even with the 4 ghouls here surrounding, so even once those skeletons are expired, the tank will not be able to move anymore, but scratch that, the Mountain King is coming in, making sure that this tank can continue moving. But yeah, TeD is still tier 1, so there's no way in hell that ReprisaL is going to give him the time to take up to tier 2 and add a temple and then go into Banshees, given that his own main is going to run out in like 3 minutes or so. So yeah, pretty unfortunate position here for ReprisaL, as just now from the top the Griffins and the Knights are coming in, and his breakers got completely cut off there from the undead army coming in from the bottom. He has to TP quite quickly here, trying to go for another nuke here, but yeah, the damage output just wasn't enough. By the way, the Periapt has been given to the Lich in the meantime, and there's only a graveyard left standing of what used to be TeD's main. Still 800 gold in here, but he's just continuing to fortify this expansion. Now gets rid of the 1 tank here. Not really something that ReprisaL wants to afford at this point, because yeah, his time is running out. 2 more minutes and then this expansion will be expired, and then well, he's gonna have to break this. TeD still has 3 statues here. He can of course morph at any time. He has finished the 4 statues even. He has finished the destroyer upgrade a long time ago, and he's staying tier 1 for the moment. Also doesn't have a shop, so he cannot produce any more statues at the moment. But a pretty strong army here for him. 62 supply, 76 on the other hand for the human player, who's now pulling the militia. So it looks like he's gonna go for it already. Skeleton scouting this here, very nicely done by TeD though, and he's morphing the destroyers, reacting to the threat here immediately, and it looks like ReprisaL is gonna send the militia back here immediately. Doesn't feel like fighting against mana destroyers, and why would he? Running away right now with everything he's got. The militia or about to run out of duration, and it looks like summer experience will be gained here on the side of the undead, whose Death Knight is pretty close to level 5 already, so this could be some very valuable experience here. And is that all too much anti-air for ReprisaL? He's got 4 flying machines, 6 flying machines against 3 destroyers, but they're all about to run out of mana, so they're definitely gonna have to get going here. Mana-less destroyers aren't going to be able to beat up these flying machines, and they have 3-0 attack upgrades as well, of course, and they are a little bit faster than the destroyers, but I don't think the damage output is enough here to really seriously threaten those. And ReprisaL, well, he's now about to run out of gold. Whereas TeD still 5,000 in there. He's adding a second. Oh no, this is only crypt currently. Of course, the one up here has fallen a while ago. So really struggling here is TeD, who's only able to buy tier 1 items from the shop. Also keep that in mind. So no potions for him against any sort of nuke. So pretty tricky for him to even spend his gold properly currently. He can only produce from this 1 slaughterhouse currently. And the only thing he can produce are actually meat wagons, which are... No, he cannot produce anything, can he? Not sure about the meat wagons, but no abominations. And yeah, okay, statues again as well, since he rebuilt the shop. Okay, so the big fight is now breaking out. The 3 destroyers in the air, taking a lot of damage from these destroyers, from these wagons, from these gyrocopters right from the get-go. He's just nuking the Dreadlord. While I'm struggling to speak here, the Death Knight was out of position back there, not able to coil in time. No, now he's gotta coil one of his destroyers. Another one is falling though, but the majority of flying machines has already fallen as well, pulling back the 2 destroyers. I guess the second one is getting healed right now as well. the front of ReprisaL is melting more and more as well, though staffing one of the knights, losing another one. The two eliminations pretty low HP as well. The Mountain King dodging the coil here, which was just used by this Death Knight to quickly do some damage before his mana was totally drained by this Blood Mage. So both of the players with some very nice awareness. Now even the avatar used by the human player. And the next Nova finishes the second to last knight. And it looks like TeD seems to be holding on here for the moment. Another knight is falling. The militia duration is over, so only peasants here trying to stop these undead heroes from moving further into the back, but they are able to do so for the moment, and the human heroes have to retreat here. Keep in mind, this Mountain King doesn't have mana, and as long as he's in avatar shape, I guess that's the downside of it. The Blood Mage is not going to be able to feed him additional mana. So no nuke available currently. The Lich gets some mana drained here, and now both of these undead heroes are out of mana, but nevertheless the human is the one who has to run away. 35 supply left for him, 38 only left for TeD. ReprisaL's got super strong heroes here, 6, 4 and 2 against TeD, who currently only has the 2 level 5 heroes standing on the field. But now he staffed the Blood Mage actually, who was carrying one of the Staffs of Preservation with his Paladin, so both of these heroes are gonna have to run right now. There is mana for Divine Shield, no mana for... Well, there is mana for Coil actually, but the DK being stopped there for a moment by the last bolt of this MK. Let's see if the Paladin is still gonna bite it. The Lich is casting the Nova here, doing some more damage, and ReprisaL doesn't have the gold for a heal potion. He could sell something in order to get a heal potion. The Lich doing one more hit, 30 HP remaining on the Paladin, who is carrying the Ring of Regeneration here, which is, you know, every 15 seconds provides him with 30 additional hit points. So this item definitely saved his Paladin's life here. Speaking of the late game value of the Ring of Regeneration. And now ReprisaL got both of his heroes staffed. And yeah, he's gonna have very, very strong nuke coming up against... well, anything that TeD can throw at him, and TeD has just finished building his altar right now, didn't have one, and therefore he can just now start rebuilding his Dreadlord. It's gonna take him a little while. Destroyers, on the other hand, for TeD scouting, and there really is no anti-air left for ReprisaL. He doesn't have a single flying machine as far as I can tell, so the only unit that can attack these two destroyers currently is the Blood Mage, and you know, he's not gonna rip them to pieces anytime soon, so there's really nothing that ReprisaL can do here. He's even using his peasants to do some long distance mining at the former main mine of TeD, but you know, that's gonna take him a long time before he's getting anything done. And it looks like the human play is gonna go ahead for another round of attack here. The Lich, Death Knight, and these 3 statues, not really a lot on the ground for the undead, and I think there's no way in hell that he's gonna leave his base voluntarily here. Yeah, pulling back all the way to his towers. Yeah, Coil on the Griffin, he's trying to get that one killed. There is a staff available though, 2 staffs actually. One on the Paladin, one on the Blood Mage. Divine Shield used quite quickly once again here. And the shop is going to be taken down. Keep in mind, there were only tier 1 items available here, but still, even getting rid of that one hurts a little bit for TeD. And he's going for the Death Knight right now. Just only the 1 bolt isn't really doing all too much. The Death Knight still has a heal potion in his inventory as well, and this breaker is falling because the staff is on cooldown, because both the Knight and the Griffin Rider have been staffed previously. So another unit gone on the side of ReprisaL, and the Dreadlord is back for TeD. Still holding on here, 2000 gold left, and he's even going for tier 2 right now. Bolt Holy Light after the banish is coming in, but the Dreadlord, yeah, barely surviving here. And TeD, hold on, he's got 2 Periapts of Vitality here. That's interesting, because he found a Ring of Regeneration up here, and he found 1 Periapt down here. So he must have bought the second one at the Goblin Merchant, or perhaps at the marketplace, but doesn't really matter. So very interesting choice here to deal with the nuke of his opponent. TeD, I mentioned it previously, Not all too easy for him to properly spend all of the gold that he got, because he only had the slaughterhouse, he didn't have a crypt, he didn't really have anything to spend his gold at. He was tier 1, so no great items at his own shop. So that's quite the interesting touch here, and really like it, and yeah, seems to really help him out here against the nuke of his opponent, who is still being annoyed by his 2 destroyers, which aren't really doing all too much damage, but well, it's better than nothing, and it constantly provides him with some information, so he always knows what's up. More long distance mining happening up here in the meantime. And yeah, the Mountain King is getting ready. Heal potion on the Death Knight, still Inmo potion is on the Lich. He's doing some more damage. And as I said, yeah, he needs to break this. Of course, if any of the player loses a hero here, then that should be the game, probably. And TeD starts by focusing the Paladin immediately. Wants to trigger that Divine Shield here as quickly as he possibly can. Yeah, some more damage dealt here. Mountain King gets yeah, put to sleep by the Dreadlord. Gets woken up by the Blood Mage. And falling back, the Dreadlord really should stay at the base here. Really doesn't want to get away from these towers. I guess things are going to get a little bit easier once tier 2 finishes and the main can contribute by slowing some more against the human army. ReprisaL falling back at 65 gold currently.
Our forces are under attack.
Giving some more mana to the Paladin. He seems to be a little bit hesitant. Difficult to engage in there, of course, but if he doesn't do anything, then that's not gonna make things easier. And TeD is going straight for tier 3. So no slow here for the moment. And once again, going for the Paladin. Now the Divine Shield is triggered. Once again, the MK was sleeping, but only for a moment. Now, is he committing? It looks like it. Bolt on the Death Knight once again. The Mountain King once again sleeping, not being woken up. The Knight has to be staffed. And the Destroyer continues slowly doing some damage to this Griffin Knight. The Death Knight is hiding in the very back of the base. The heal potion already had to be used. Avatar used, but he doesn't have mana for another bolt. Now committing with everything that he's got. Holy Light onto the Mountain King. The Death Knight gets drained here. The Paladin could now be in trouble, and he's actually casting Sleep on the Blood Mage who was carrying the Staff of Sanctuary. So no way to save this Paladin for ReprisaL. TeD finishing the game with a very nice touch there, realizing which hero he had to cast Sleep on in order to get the nuke on the Paladin. He gets the Coil Nova. He kills the second hero of his opponent and finishes the game here, holding his expansion against the pressure of ReprisaL. Yeah, ReprisaL going for a lot of tanks, going for basically what he is known to do against undead. There was a point when he even tended to go like 6 workshops tanks against undeads and being quite successful in doing so. But in this case, TeD able to defend his expansion. Of course, a difficult position for ReprisaL eventually, as he had to engage into a lot of towers, into the Blight against the undead army, where he just, you know, after the expansion was up for TeD, where he just had basically no choice but to do so. And TeD holding on by a thread, yeah, just surviving basically, and therefore being able to win the game. Not really all too much more to say there. And yeah, as that is all, I hope you enjoyed it. As always, give a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment if you did so. As always, there's also the link to donate if you want to do so in the video description. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Take care.